use that. Why? That's mommy's. Use this if you want to smell like that tea.
You never had to question if you were a man, so why give your money to a corporation that doesn't know if their products are made for men? Try Jeremy Razor's hair and body products. Jeremy shampoo and conditioner are made with tea tree oil to naturally clean and restore your hair and scalp, argan oil to soften your hair and not your masculinity, and aloe vera to moisturize the hair and scalp. It's all paraben-free, sulfate-free, phthalate-free, and most importantly, 100% woke-free. Not to mention, it smells amazing. Go to jeremyrazors.com and use my special code BURNS15 to save 15% off. That's jeremyrazors.com. Use my special code BURNS15 to save 15% off. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Business Talks. I am your host, Chawanne Burns. We are going to get into it today. We're going to talk about Tiffany Henyard. Over the week, we've seen a lot of ass showing and ass kissing during some of their township meetings. The board, I guess the majority of the board, adjourned one of the meetings, the official meeting, and had a special meeting the very next day. And some of Keith Freeman, he's the administrator. He showed up to the board meeting being very combative. And the town assessor, she stressed during the meeting, saying she's very afraid to even go to work because Tiffany Henyard and her cronies has the village on lockdown. If you are combating her or standing up, trying to do your duty as the trustee, she's sending her cronies after you and making sure that you remain silent, or they're going to force you silent. And I came across this one video where one of the ladies said that they are sending threatening emails, messages to, some of the trustees and employees, threaten them not to do their job, like answer for your requests or ask or answer questions to the public about the financial state of, the village. And Keith Freeman goes behind and deletes the email like they never existed. So that's some of the things that they've been doing in the village of Downton, this small town village of Downton with about 20,000 people. And we just learned during a special meeting that they're in deficit. Trustee House, I don't know if you guys remember him. He's the gentleman, the light-skinned gentleman. He said he believes that they're in deficit about $7 million. Since May, they increased their deficit. When Tiffany took over, they were like in $2 million in debt. Since then, they add another $4.2 million in debt. So what is going on with the village of Dalton? I don't know if anyone has reported these things to the Kim Worthy. I think she's the district attorney. They're just running. It's like the Wild Wild West over there. No one's stepping in. Tiffany Henyard, she has the police in her in her pocket, and the people, the regular employees, are literally afraid of Tiffany Henyard and her cronies. So we're going to talk about that today on Business Talks.
Something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bap. What? This is what you call a bap. Looks a little something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Hey, this is what you call a bap. What? This is what you call a bap.
So if you like that intro music, you could go to scoresomemusic.com, www.scoresomemusic.com. And Matt Torrance, he can compose some music specifically for whatever you want to do. That website is www.scoresomemusic.com. Okay, folks, let's get into it. because we that last video I broke about Tiffany Henyard, we discovered that she has a criminal past. But why were we surprised? Okay, because she likes criminals. Her boyfriend, we can't say he a criminal. They didn't say, but he's married. So he's married. The guy that she hired um, to inspect homes, he was a violent criminal. Um, Coming to find out, I was just looking at Pink Book lessons on one of her cronies, the older guy. He's an ex-felon. So it's like she loves to keep people around her that has all these criminal histories and criminal pasts around them. And I'm not saying nothing is wrong. You got to give people a chance because they paid their debt to society. But you're supposed to be the mayor and the township supervisor. And your close friends are criminals. Does anyone have a problem with that? I think we should. So during this last town hall meeting that they had, or the township meeting, I guess the board of trustees meeting, it's really supposed to be to tell the citizens what is going on in their city and what is going on with the financials of the city. And that meeting was not so. I mean, this meeting was a debacle. It was a literal mess. And it's crazy to me how a township, a village could operate in such manner and without no one saying, okay, this is getting a little bit ridiculous. No one saying, hey, we need to dial it down, bring it on in. Aren't we tired of fighting? Let's follow some rules. That's why these rules and systems was put in place, and systems of checks and balances, so we won't overspend, and so you can have an accountability partner. Why do these things exist? It's because people in the past went across their boundaries and start running amok in a city or a village. And it is everywhere. It's not just the Dalton village. It's everywhere. Every city, every state in the United States have a system of checks and balances. And why the people of Illinois, Dalton Village, is struggling to just follow the guidelines. They're having a real problem. You guys put where you're viewing from. Put in a chat where you're viewing from. Let me just share this with you. And this was the last board meeting. Of course, it ended abruptly. Well, officially. Officially, it was supposed to end, but they kept on going because your mayor, your super mayor, she wanted people to come in and start praising her and telling her how she's doing a good job. But some of the trustees, they were able to stress some of their concerns, but the residents, they were not able to ask any questions to the board. It was just a comment meeting, which is really weird to me. Or see us out after the meeting and we'll take care of it. What kind of meeting is that? You should be able, as a resident, to be able to address your concern. I'm not going to play the whole thing because it's an hour and a half, but I want to highlight a few things that was going on. Let me make sure you guys can see this. And you can. And I'll get to some of your chats in a minute. So they first started off with the residents' comments. Okay. So
AC Power is working with a
this
land.
guy,
7 days to move the vehicle. They towed the vehicle in 6 days. I've been trying.
now this guy, he got his car towed. They said he towed it in 7 days. They actually towed it in 6 days. He's been trying to meet their requirements, and they haven't met the he hasn't met the police department requirements to get his car back. But I didn't want to show you guys that. This is what I want to show you. Now this fool, um apparently he works, or he's a contractor or one of the vendors who works for the city. Okay, he does the tree trimming. And apparently the mayor, and we'll see it in another video, the mayor has been telling these vendors, oh, you need to contact the trustees. They're not approving the pay, the checks. And they are. They actually are approved. If they're an approved vendor on the vendor list, they are actually are paying those. Okay. And we find that out in the next meeting, the special meeting that they held. The problem is with this guy, I don't know if he's trying to confront the people for not paying him, but he really doesn't know. Tiffany Henyard is telling the person who writes out the check not to mail the checks. So they're all of these vendors have not been paid. Reason why they haven't been paid is because they don't have any money in the bank account. They don't have any money. So listen to this guy.
You're a resident as of this month. I want to come shed some lights on some things that's going on in the community with the tree trimming, with us having the contractors still doing the work, but they're not being paid. I'm just hoping that this meeting will bring and shed light to people that really need to get paid. These are the people that we call on for emergencies. Also, for the last couple of months, within Public Works, we were unable to do some of the things that we need to do as far as patching streets, lights being out. We have over 20 requests for lights to be restored on blocks that have not been paid. These are the things that is necessary and necessity for our residents, me as well. I just want to say to the administration, we're going to continue to do what we need to do for the residents. We need the residents to wake up and stop believing everything that you see on TV. Ask questions. Also, just want to give some kudos and light to K&M, John Pro.
So he's saying not to believe whatever they see on TV. Okay, but what about what they see on YouTube? I mean, come on now. You telling the residents not to believe what they see on TV, but there is social media. And social media tends to tell, okay, what's behind the scenes. You can't tell people not to look at YouTube, and tons of people are reporting on Dalton on YouTube. Matter of fact, on TikTok. There's tons of videos on TikTok about the village of Dalton. The problem with this guy is I think he's just a crony of Tiffany Henyard. And like I mentioned before, Tiffany is telling these vendors, hey, you need to contact the trustees about getting paid, because if you ain't getting paid, it's the trustee. They haven't approved it yet. And in this special meeting, we found out, they've been approving all the vendors that are on the approved vendor list. They've been approving that work because there is already scheduled work that they receive annually. But we found out that they have all these checks, months and months of checks just sitting on this lady's desk, and the mayor told her not to mail them out. Why? because she's probably trying to drive a wedge between the trustees that she don't like, and number two, they don't have any money in their bank account. They literally don't have any money to pay the people. Matter of fact, if you go on Dalton website, let's pull up Dalton website. They're saying that they've been firing people because they can't pay them, and also there are no job openings at the Village of Dalton. There's no job openings. If you want a job at the Village of Dalton, there's none. View employment opportunities. Now they have some job openings right now. The other day they took them off. So maybe somebody complained about it because just yesterday or 2 days ago, this page was empty. This wasn't even a page. They had job employment and it was blank. It had something else. So anyway, they're firing people and they're not paying their regular vendors. Their regular approved vendors, they're not paying them. Because like I said, Tiffany Henyard is probably trying to tell them, oh, you need to contact the trustees. They're not approving your payment. So she could make them look bad. And like I said, they don't have any money to pay them. You need progress. You don't need corruption. So stop. Like I said, it was a lot of ass showing on this board meeting and ass kissing. She signs their paycheck. So of course they're gonna come up and say, oh, you're such a great person. She signs their paycheck and they're able to run up credit card bills. I got some credit card receipts. You guys, this shit is astronomical. The amount of money that they spend on a credit card. I've worked for a Fortune 500 company and I've traveled with this Fortune 500 company, and this is astronomical. Matter of fact, I think they need to change their per diem because it doesn't make any sense. It's a little bit on the ludicrous side. But we'll see that later on during the stream. The next one I want to show you guys, Belcher. Now, Belcher, she's been calling out. She's been a strong fact check, rebuttals. She pulls Tiffany's cards for all the lies that Tiffany tells the public, and she normally does it during the board meeting. So her and let me see if I want to. Actually, I want to show you this lady. This lady is off the chain. She was kind of off the chain. Let me see.
The door had to be unlocked, and we have our fire chief here present. I don't think you can lock residents in buildings. We need to be able to get in and out the door if anything were to happen under emergency. Secondly, I want to know who the attorney is. Is he the village attorney? Do we currently have a village attorney? Because everybody keeps saying like he's a prosecuting or prosecutorial attorney. And so who's being prosecuted? Anyone being prosecuted? Can you explain your capacity as the attorney, sir?
This is public comment.
Oh, it's public comment. Okay. Well, hopefully we'll have the minutes soon. Clerk, are you willing to say why we don't have minutes still? Is it?
This is public comment, clerk. This is not Q&A, it's public comment.
Okay. Yes.
You see how Tiffany is. She's not nice. This is a resident now. She's not a nice person. It's public comment. This is, and she carries that same kind of abrasive attitude like Brandon Johnson. If you rub them the wrong way, they get real bitchy. Instead of being like a continuous public servant, because that's the job you signed up for. You are a public servant. You are an elected official. So when you rub her the wrong way, she's, a straight B. Don't want to say the word, but that's how she is.
Officer Lacey, you were going to say something. Okay. And so outside of that, it's a few FOIAs that I'm still waiting from May of 2022 for. Basically, those FOIAs consist of the billing for the recall on both sides, and also other billing and other legal lawsuits. And also, this is a public meeting, and so unless you have a court order by a judge that certain individuals can't come in, then they shouldn't be being blocked from public meetings at all. Do you guys know anything about that? Because we can't have residents blocked for public meetings unless a judge signs off on that. And yeah, I still got.
See, they can't comment because Tiffany Henyard told them not to comment, and they trying to, I guess, respect her wishes, but I would have been like, whatever. And she's calling in this resident. I guess they told they're stopping people from even attending the meeting, which is, like I said, is really ludicrous. What type of, now, if the person came in the meeting and was like very disruptive, if they were violent, okay, yeah, we don't want you in the meeting because you caused too much problem. But just a regular resident that don't agree with you, to me, that's ludicrous. And this is the kind of stuff that she's doing.
1 minute? Wow. And so it's some things that need to be addressed, especially as far as members of the board and leadership. We have Tammy Brown and Brittany Norwood that had no problem with coming and lying under oath for a year. And so I will be seeking to have you removed from your seats, especially when you show up to court, Tammy, and verbatim say to the judge that I must want you to put your hands on me. I mean, I don't know what public official does that. So that needs to be addressed. And so that's all I came in for. The shenanigans are over with. I'll be seeing a lot of people in federal court. Thanks for participating.
Thank you.
That
concludes public comment. Next is general announcements. Do anyone have any general announcements?
Yeah, I have an announcement.
Who's that?
Trustee Forward.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. I would first like to invite everyone on behalf of Dalton Park Board of Commissioners. They'd like to invite you to their 7th annual holiday festive, Winter Wonderland. It's on this December. It's December the 16th from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. It's that Saturday. They'll have arts and crafts, games, Santa visit, holiday magic, ugly sweater contest, and
okay. So she's just giving an announcement, but let's go to Trustee House. He's going to talk about how they don't get any of the receipts. They want them to vote on something, I guess the credit card receipts, and they haven't seen them yet, or they just received them. Even the tax levy, they're trying to increase the taxes of the city, of the residents, by 5%, and they don't have like an evaluation of why they're trying to increase the taxes and what you're trying to do. They received a 1-page letter about why, or, oh yeah, we're going to increase the taxes by 5%. I mean, and they want them to vote on it today, which it doesn't make any sense. You don't even have time to review. And you have 20,000 people, and we could say less than that, but whoever owns their property, you have so many people that you're willing to increase their property tax without even looking at it. And they can't even fulfill their duty as being a trustee.
Saturday, December the 9th will be the last.
They have not gotten checks, yet the board has approved them back in June or July. I say this just as an encouragement because some people are saying that the board, they're being informed the board has not approved them, and in many cases they've already been approved, and yet the check has not been released. So if there's a question from the board's perspective of whether or not the bill has been approved, I would encourage those individuals, please give me an email at jhouse@vodalton.org, and I will gladly identify from the board standpoint what has been approved and what has not, along with next steps. Also can be reached via cell phone 708-625-1105. So either method is okay, but the information, in many cases, the bills are being approved and the check is still not reaching its end destination. So if there's any question about that, please feel free to reach out. In this occasion, and on this meeting, again, we are trying to make sure we're here to make the proper votes or have the information. However, without receiving the information, we're not in a position to do a vote on many items. We received partial information for this meeting as of today, because I know we've made some conversations about receipts that we haven't had. This time, we do not have the credit card receipts, credit card statements, as Trustee Norwood mentioned, from June through current. This meeting, we do not have an electronic payments warrant list, which is where the credit card statements are at. So we don't have the information needed for that, along with some other items on there. So we do our best, and we try to minimize, or believe it or not, we try to minimize the back and forth. Unfortunately, on some cases, when we don't have it, it turns into something undesirable for the community. So that concludes my comments. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else?
May I be recognized?
Like I said, they don't have the receipts. They don't have enough information to pay. You can't just say, "Oh yeah, we're going to approve this." That's not how it works. It doesn't work that way. And I wish Tiffany Henyard and her cronies will realize this. Sean West, the township voted for this Henyard for the mayor because they are delusional sisterhood. You got what you asked for. Yeah, that delusional sisterhood. Girl, she's a sis. She getting her bag. Get your bag, sis. Our super mayor, sis. Yeah, that's what they voted for. That crazy. That's some BS. That get your bag, sis. She a boss chick. My name is in the mud. This should be good. Have enough time to let everyone know and have a watch party. Grab a beverage, a cone, and some popcorn, because anything Henyard has got to be good. Exactly. This is a special time. You guys bring in, some of your people. Let them know that we're online. Get these likes up. It helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Continue to comment. Okay. This next one is Belcher. Now, Belcher, she don't be playing. Belcher, she doesn't play, and she calls people out for their BS.
Great. I hate that this has to keep going back and forth in reference to just one thing that they keep saying about credit card. But I do want to say that on November 13th, I sent the email to our finance director, Janice Johnson, Michael Delgado, and Mike McGrath, and I copied also Trustee House about us not receiving the credit card statements. We had a town hall finance meeting, and I asked Tanjanique about the credit cards, and she told me that we don't have a credit card anymore because the trustees cut it off, which I know I'm a sitting trustee, and we haven't passed anything to cut the credit card off. But then to find out that we have an American Express card that was issued to the police department that now has the current sitting deputy chief's name on it, makes me feel not only violated as a trustee, but blatantly lied to. I pulled the ordinance 17-003, adopting the village transparency policy. What's crazy to me is Trustee Stan Brown voted for it and Mayor Henyard voted for it, but refused to give us the information that we keep asking for. Y'all want us to come, sit here, vote on stuff, and absolutely have nothing with it. And then they say, you're lying, you're lying. Of course, it says, whereas, and I'll have copies for anybody that want a copy of it. The 10-point transparency checklist includes, but is not limited to, the following: elected and administrative officials, contact information, meeting information, calendar, future minutes, board packets, past and present, public record, FOIA submission, FOIA officer contact information, budgets, general and special projects, financial audits, salary and benefits, wages, overtime, health, dental, life, pension, contracts, union, private contracts, vendors, board of trustee contracts, lobbying, taxpayer-funded lobbying associations, taxes, fees, sales, property, income, and miscellaneous taxes in the non-priority in excess of $9,999.99. As a trustee, I shouldn't have to beg to receive anything that you want me to vote on. I shouldn't have to do it. So then I asked for a digital copy of a budget that you want me to sit here and pass today. And it went to Tangenique, Janice, Keith, Stan Brown, Michael Delgado, and Mike McGrath, and still have not received it. So as our finance director who makes $90,000 plus a year, I don't understand why we can't get the information and then get an email on Saturday evening at 6:29 to say we're waiting on the CPA to give us electronic warrant lists that we're still paying $33,000 a month for. So if somebody can answer the question, I know it's general comment, but I feel it's an insult and an embarrassment right now that y'all would even want us to sit here and pass anything without giving us what we requested. Thank you.
How can you get mad at that? And I can't believe they paying $33,000 a month for a CPA. I just can't believe that. But I can believe it because I have some credit card receipts and you guys won't believe how many transactions are in this credit cards. And there's only 4 or 5 different people on this one particular card. We don't know what the board of trustees, we haven't seen Tiffany Henyard's credit card statement. We don't know. But it's a few people on this one particular credit card and they've been charging some stuff up and it's really ridiculous. So we can't get mad at her.
All right, you done? All right, go ahead.
Yes. I'm sorry, Mayor, can I say one more thing?
It's,
No.
Trustee Brown.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, residents of the village of Dalton. I'd like to say there's going to be a Christmas toy giveaway.
He's just going to read on the back of the flyer. That's all he's going to do. This is a crony. He holds 2 positions. He's double dipping. Okay. This is a crony. He's going to read the back of the flyer. He's not going to really tell you anything. He's going to talk about the giveaway, toy giveaway. And he's a board of trustee. He's a trustee. And he doesn't add anything of value to the township or the village of Dalton. So we're going to skip him. We're going to get to Tiffany shenanigans. Tiffany was really irritated. She was really irritated by Belcher. And you could tell she doesn't like her.
Report.
Mayor.
So a couple things. Yes.
I'm sorry. You said it was Trustee Stan, but I had one thing to
You
announce.
had your turn, so we're moving on now. So now.
Okay, I make a motion to adjourn the
Trustee,
meeting.
you're out of order. It's time for mayor's report. I sat here and I listened to y'all, and now it's the mayor's report. That's so disrespectful. Y'all got to grow up. Just because y'all can't have y'all way, y'all shouldn't act this way. Y'all said all that stuff, didn't mean a word of it, and then you sat here and you did this. That ain't how this go. Y'all do not run the meeting.
You
The
should have
mayor
thought
does.
about that before
So
you
if I'm
had your
asking
administrator don't give
if
us the
I'm asking
information.
you, let me finish my statement. So it's mayor's report. So it's a lot of great things that we have here in the village of Dalton. And today I want you guys to hear what's going on. Clerk Key, I did not say call any row. It's so disrespectful. So I'm gonna tell you about the things that's going on. First, I want to make sure that the residents of Dalton know about the help that's here. FEMA is here in the community, and we are here to help you with your storm. Thanks to my proclamation that I made here in Dalton and the proclamation I made at the township, we have a couple things for you. This will be a site at the village, and it will be a site at the township. So I want you guys to know to come and get all the help that you need. So please make sure you come out. September 17th was the day that everybody was asking about. I do appreciate you guys because at the end of the day, I'm always doing the work, as you can see. No matter how disrespectful people can be or will be, I'm always stand strong. I'm always stay here for the people. So as I was saying, this is a location, and the other location will be at the township, and it will be at the Riverdale.
So they walked out the meeting. They adjourned the meeting. You got to have 4 ayes to adjourn the meeting, or the majority of the trustees have to adjourn the meeting, and they adjourned it. So they're saying that basically by the rule book, Tiffany is acting out of the parameters of the rules. They said it's unlawful. Okay. I'm not for sure how true that is, but they adjourned the meeting and they walked out on her. They walked out of the meeting. Well, we could say they adjourned it and walked out. And Tiffany, she just want to tell everybody how good she is as a mayor.
Location on Halsted. So please come out. I'm making it feasible for you from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. It will be on Saturday and Sunday at those times, and then Monday through Friday.
And you know she is all about herself because she's saying I. not we. You have your cronies that's helping you put this stuff together. It's not about I. We are doing this. We are holding whatever. But she uses the word I. Does anyone find that really odd that she uses I and she has all these people that runs the village? It's not just one person. Like I said in prior live streams, Tiffany act like she's the queen of Village of Dalton, and she's not.
Friday, it will be from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Riverdale location. Here in the Village Hall, it will be 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday only because we have business to take. Next, I want to thank Tony Preckwinkle because she was so helpful. I want to thank the governor and thank the president for signing off because I know you guys all called about the flood and how bad it was and how basically the mold was growing in your house. So my heart goes out to you because you guys are moms, dads, parents. So the struggle's there. So trust me, I love y'all about just staying the course. Next, I would like people to know that we will be sending a robocall out, a text blast out, and we will let you know about the qualifications for FEMA because we didn't want to announce it due to the fact we didn't have all the information. I do know that there will be setting up sites throughout Cook County. I just want to tell you about the sites that's here for you. Next, our tree lighting. Our tree lighting was yesterday. It was a whole lot of fun. I want to thank Channel 7. Channel 7 came out, and Channel 7 actually gave us good press. So give it up to Channel 7, y'all. We was on Channel 7. So I want to thank them for that because they came out and put us in a great, great light for the things we truly do in our community, and that is give back and unity amongst community. The kids was out there. They had a blast. It was starting to rain a little bit, but we stayed the course and we stayed outside. We had hot chocolate. We had sauna. We had the igloos out, the bubbles. All you had to do was just come out and see the scenery. I love that. And then I want to thank Five Star because Five Star helped build Greenwood Falls, just ice rink over there. So it was really, really epic. So if you missed it, go by when you leave here, see the tree lighting because in the beginning we had the little Charlie Brown tree, and then in the end we end up with a mega tree. So I want to thank those that contribute to that because the board wouldn't allow for you guys to get a tree last year, and that was really heartbreaking because those that have kids, they really love that. I remember back in the day when my parents used to bring me to Dalton just to see the lights on the houses, and they just drove through the communities. And as a kid, you're just like, wow, oh my God. So now we had the opportunity to do the same for.
Does anyone feel like she's like super nervous? Like she's just like saying all these things to like, oh, I'm in trouble now, but I need to make my light shine. Let's see if we could get their attention off of the dirty things or the dirty deeds that we're doing and say we're having a tree lighting all the while we're in $7 million in deficit. Let's forget all the charges, our credit card charges that we have, that we spend hundreds of $1,000s a month on credit cards. Let's see if we could, because we want to do a lot of good things. Have tree lightings, ice skating rink, Christmas pictures with Santa, give out chitterlings, pave some of these roads that's been in disrepair for the last 10 years. Let's do some of that so they won't really ask us questions. Let's have a party, a black party, so they won't ask us questions about how much money we're spending. Well, we're spending it on you. Don't you see we paved these roads? We paved these roads. Don't you see we have this tree lighting ceremony? We're giving out chitlins for the Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Our kids. So thank you again for those that help with the tree. On Thanksgiving, we had 2 water main breaks the day before Thanksgiving. So I'm shocked you didn't talk about this, DeMarcus. I give appreciation and kudos to Public Works because they was out there taking care of the business. Even though the board voted not to pay certain vendors, as he was stating in his speech about how is they going to fix it. At the end of the day, no matter what happened, y'all called the mayor. Y'all asked the mayor.
The mayor is lying, you guys. The trustees, they approve the vendors that they normally do work. The vendors, if they do work for the township, they've been approving those checks. They've just been sitting on the desk. Other ladies who write the check. It's been sitting there. Since what Trustee House said, since July. All these services have been approved. But the problem is, mayor, your super mayor, she goes around saying, oh, yeah, I'm the mayor. Oh, you want to do some work? I'll hook you up. Yeah, do this and don't get a contract. They're not on approved vendor list. She has them doing work, and then the vendor get mad, submit their bill, and the trustees don't approve it because they said, oh, we didn't vote on this work, number one, and you're not on our vendor's schedule. Why do you need to be on the vendor schedule? Because we want to know that you are reliable and you actually do the work that you say you do. That's why you need to be on an approved vendor list. Every government city has one. You can't just show up and say, hey, I do this. No, you have to be on that approved vendor. And how you get on there, maybe you need to talk to Tiffany Henyard. But usually you've done work in the past or somebody know you in the township. Usually that's what happens. And then you fill out some paperwork and you become a approved vendor. You probably have to be bonded. You probably have to have so many years in that particular work before you get a contract with the city. That's what normally happens. And then anything over a certain amount of dollar, it has to be approved by the trustees. What is so hard about that? Even on the approved vendors, if it's over a certain amount of dollar, it has to be approved. What is wrong with that? But she's going around and telling people, oh, it's not me. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm the super mayor. But no one knows, the people that's on the outside looking in, they don't know that kind of stuff. They just mad because they ain't getting paid.
How is things gonna get fixed? And I take it like to heart because y'all live here. The day before Thanksgiving, people had families coming in and they didn't have no water. But my team, my crew, Public Works, they stayed out there all night. It was cold as ever. And they fixed that one water main break. And then guess what happened? Another one happened. So they stayed out there all night. We had to take them hot chocolate, things of that nature. But I just love y'all. So y'all give it up Public Works. Without them guys, y'all wouldn't have no water. Thank you, PW. Thank you.
I wouldn't have no
Thank
water.
you. I so love y'all for that. That's what great teams are about. That's what teammanship is about. That's what people that want to work together, no matter who don't like who don't get along. At the end of the day, we all have a job to do, and that is service to people. So I just want to show y'all that through all the controversy, we're going to still keep pushing through because we still doing it. As you can see, we winning everything. We ain't lost not one lawsuit, and I don't understand how people got so much to say that ain't done enough for 3 years.
We don't know that.
Go back and check it out. If people ain't did enough for 3 years, what makes you think
that? We don't know that. If you did work for the city, you're gonna sue them, and they probably gonna end up paying. Now, this one guy I'm gonna show you, he's saying that he's charging them interest. Dude, you're not gonna get interest. You're gonna get that fixed amount that you agreed upon, and hopefully you had a signed contract with somebody. Because if you didn't, you probably won't get paid. I did work for the federal, and I was a subcontractor. I did some work for a subcontractor in the federal building. And these people decided not to pay me. They emailed me. I sent them an invoice, few invoices, a few times throughout the year. Okay. On the 12th month, I decided, oh, they're not going to pay me. So I went down to the courthouse and I submitted for a small claims court. But anywho, throughout the times that I was emailing their accounting department, this lady told me, oh, do you have a signed contract? I sent her a signed contract. And she said, no, that's not a signed contract. We need a signed contract from us. And I was like, no, I have a signed contract. I don't perform any work unless you sign my contract, because I got to buy equipment for this particular job, and I have to pay employees to do this particular job. And the judge ended up ruling in my favor because I had a signed contract. So you can't just perform work and don't have a signed contract. But anyway, like I was getting at, Tiffany Henyard, She thinks that she could just say, "Oh, do that work. Do that. I'm the mayor. I'll make sure you get paid." And that's probably what she's been doing. And these people are probably won't get paid. And we don't know if she's been winning any lawsuits. We don't know that. Unless she got the judge in her pocket, and I doubt that. Because how you going to be a business? The word was spread around about Dalton Village. Hey, don't do work there because they don't like paying people. Tiffany is lying to you. You can't screw over contracts and think you're going to be on the one up. It doesn't matter if you're a city or whatever. People will not work. You're not going to screw off contractors, and that word will get around fast. So they got two things that they could do to recover from this. Start paying these people, or they just going to be shit out of luck. People are not going to do the work.
They're gonna do something now because it's election time. Come on, wake up. Wake up. Y'all know that I love y'all. Y'all know that I care about where I grew up at. And that's why I stand in the fight. Anybody else would have been ran because y'all asked me this. And this is what a lady asked me. Cindy, why you just stay here? I said, because I care. I said, I grew here. They flew here. That's my slogan. Because at the end of the day, a person that live here, they going to care more. That's like a person that work in the community that they live in. They going to pick paper up. They going to make sure the sweeper is down the street. They care more. That's just like the snow removal. We got snow removal in our town. Y'all know all the other towns jealous of y'all. They mad and they want me to put in all the other towns. I told them I'm not their mayor. I told them I'm the mayor of Dalton. That's something that I created.
Shut up, Tiffany. Shut up. Just because you grew there, or you're talking about somebody flew there, you don't care no more than some fly on the wall. You stealing just like any other corrupt politician. This title done got to your damn head. You think you more than what you is. So stop it. Stop it with the madness.
Created when I got here in 2021. So the snow program is working. It's for all seniors. Do not get out there. I repeat, do not get out there in that cold and that snow and bent over with your back. Please, whatever you do, because a lot of people have heart attacks when they try to pick that heavy snow up. Little do people know. So just call us. We'll put you on a list and we're gonna make a way. And again, that's PW. That's in Public Works. Public Works come out and they make sure they get to every single house. So those are things that I do as your mayor and my team do, but it never gets shadowed in the light. It's like people are so obsessed with the mess.
Snow removal is supposed to be a part. They pay taxes. You should be removing snow. Okay. Well, not city sidewalks. Yeah. Personal driveways. Maybe not. Okay. Maybe you should be taking care of that yourself. But you should be removing snow off the damn street. It's the city street. Like you're not doing nothing more than any other major city does.
I don't like messy people. I just don't. I would never sit at a table with a messy person. You would never hear me talking about people because I don't care. Why? Because I got things to do. When you got things to do and you live in your life and you making sure you bring things back to your community like that $15 million, talk about that. But y'all not. Y'all all lip boxing. That's it. Everybody gonna always have an opinion of somebody, but you're not willing to step in their shoes to see what growth looks like, what progress looks like. And I think I'm doing a damn good job. What y'all think? Thanks.
Stop it. She talking about $15 million. They were supposed to get a grant. I'm assuming they'll talk about that in the next meeting, that special meeting that they held. This grant that they never got the money for. She never received the grant. So they're trying to literally forge their books, saying they have more than what they have. So the trustees could approve certain things. And this is from like the financial manager, and he doesn't have any type of finance background, but he's the financial management manager of the township, of the village. It doesn't make any sense. Tiffany says she's not messy, but her TikTok says different. Even I found a Twitter page for Dalton Village. Let me see if I can find it. Village of Dalton. I don't know what this post is from. Okay. I don't want to read that. Anyway. Village of Dalton. You think this is a burner account? I love it. Shows you literally you have no credibility. What does this prove? It proves that Tiffany Aisha Henyard has a burner account. Hard to believe, but yes, the mayor of Dalton, Illinois, and supervisor of Thornton Township is on Twitter. Speaking of missing money, Miss Kiana Belcher campaign finance report is telling. More details to come. She doesn't account for none of the donations she got last cycle reporting. Trustee of Village of Dalton, Kiana Belcher, it's time to replace her. If the trustee Kiana Belcher wants to be mayor, her fat ass should run. Wait, she did and lost.
So adamant about this budget and what's going on. May 12, 2021, a resolution was passed. The following persons are hereby authorized to be added as signatories.
That's from when she signed that check and they took her off the check. Actually, they're supposed to have two people signing the check, and she actually spent $561,000. Anyway, this next one says this slimy ass guy, Jason House, is the worst. He sits quietly, then raises his hand with no solutions, only to complain. It's time to replace him. Village of Dalton, he got to go. So, and this is from Village of Dalton. It might be like a scam account, you know. We don't know. It might be one of those accounts that what's her name, Tiffany Henyard is managing, but is unbecoming. You know, they harassing people on here. When I posted something, they responded to one of my posts. So they probably just looking up, Googling Tiffany Henyard and putting it on the post, you know, or responding to anybody that posts against Tiffany Henyard. Anyway, this
Thank you. So next, I want to say a couple statements that the board made, and it's a shame. I told you I got babies on my board. I think y'all need to send us some Similac and some bottles, please, pacifiers. So the board approved one of the checks, and that's what 5 Star. And I know that's probably why you're here today. They approved the check back in the past. I don't have the exact date, and I don't know for those that have been watching our board meetings. Trustee Jason House and Clerk Key was on the bank account that they hijacked. I told y'all about that. They will be going to jail for that because that is a felony. Little do y'all know, you cannot walk in the bank and basically take someone off $1 million bank account, which they did. So you know it's all a setup from the bank to the trustees to the clerk. So you'll see that coming soon. Stay tuned. I keep telling y'all, don't worry about what's going on. Watch how I finish. Mark my words. So they approved it. The board. This is when Trustee Tammy Brown flipped on them, and 4 people voted to pay, especially 5 Star, all the vendors that was on the list. Now, remind y'all, they keep pointing fingers, but they're not telling you facts. Facts is I was not on the bank account, nor was anybody from my administration. The people that had total control was the clerk and Jason House. They did not sign that man's check. They did not sign several other people's check. So then they want to now today place blame on us. We weren't in control of no bank account to pay anybody. Literally, I just got back on the bank account. I sent something out to all the presidents in Dalton, and I let you guys know what was going on. And a lot of people was appalled that that happened in their own backyard. So when people want to just get traction off of fake news, false stories, things of that nature, y'all should
actually the mayor shouldn't have access to the bank account. No mayor should. No mayor should be having access to any bank account. That's why you got a board of trustees. That's why you have accountants and payees. Why do you need access to the bank account? What's the purpose? You shouldn't be able to sign no check by yourself anyway.
Ask your question, why? What was your antennas 3 years ago? Right when I got in the seat, it'd been nothing but turmoil because people want to control. They thought I was a young, naive woman that was going to sit here and do what they say. I'm no puppet. But as you saw, Trustee Tammy Brown is a puppet. She just said that she don't read. So if she don't read, how does she know how to vote when she come here? Ask yourself that. That means she are told how to vote. She said she didn't read her package when the news was here. So all I can do is point facts out to you, and hopefully you read them and understand what's going on here in the Village of Dalton. Because as I say, when the hate don't work, they start telling lies. Next, I want to show y'all a couple things that we got going on. This was our end of the year, and I just want to show you the progress in our village. We did a whole lot of things as relate to progress and growth, and we got a video just to show you so you can keep up with us. A lot of people don't know. They just hear things, but I want to show you. Seeing is believing instead of you just hearing. If you just saying things like that, just don't let somebody lead you blindly without education. Education is so important, but they always say, if our people do not read, we will perish, and I do believe that is the knowledge. Anything else for you, Keith? All right. Oh, and then the alleys in the sidewalks and all of that. I know that Ron engineer is going to speak on that, but I do want you to know that with that being said, we are still doing that. I know people are waiting in line for their alley. I know the weather didn't caught up with us, so we will start that next season in March, right, Ron? By March. Okay, so about March, you will see alleys still being done, street repavement, and also sidewalks. Like I said before in the past, they made you pay 50% for a sidewalk. I don't know where they do that at, but they did it here in the Village of Dalton. I don't feel you should have to pay for something that's a public.
First, I'd like to announce the estimates for the 2022 tax levy extension. So we have for the operating levy, the 2022 tax levy extended was $11,136. $11,136,531 with the requested 4.99% increase. The new operating levy amount for 2023 is $11,692,244. For the debt service based on the debt schedules and with the assumption that the homeboy disposal bond will be for the same amount as the 2022 tax levy, $1,144,455. The debt service levy decreased by $105,601 from $4,315,436 to $4,209,835. As a reminder, you should have not issued your homeboy disposal bond for this year. This results in the total 2023 estimated tax levy of the amount of $15,902,079, which was an increase of $450,112 from the prior year amount of $15,451,967. That is the estimates for this year. Hopefully, we will get the tax levy passed on. I think it's scheduled for December 26th at a special meeting. I'd also like to talk about just a couple things that the trustees discussed before their before they leave abruptly. They receive electronic warrant lists every month. The electronic warrant list.
Before they left abruptly, this guy, he's a piece of crap. He is a POS. You're going to see him in the next meeting trying to bully, and he is a bully. He tries to look to see, oh, I'm such a good person. But you go to this other meeting and you're a totally different person. You're not a good person. And who bullies elderly? One of the ladies in the meeting, in this next meeting I'm going to show you, she basically said you need to either step down or you guys need to figure out how you could fire him because he's the mastermind behind all this. That's what she said. And he came back in the room as she was saying it. And so she pointed, no, you're the one that need to be fired. He keeps up a lot of mess. He's the one who's locking people out. Or if Tiffany is saying to lock them out, he actually does the action. He's the person who's supposed to give everybody the stuff and nobody's receiving it. You can't tell me 4 out of the trustees, all the trustees that you don't like, all of them don't receive the information. That's why I find it hard to believe that they're lying. You are the one that's causing it.
Is a detailed list of all of the credit card uses that we have. We receive credit card statements months after we actually make the charges, which is why we take a electronic copy and pass it.
No, you don't. Everybody knows you receive the credit card statement right after. It doesn't be months, because if it was months, they're gonna be like, if they take them so long, and I'm talking about the credit card company, take them so long to send you a credit card statement, they're gonna be like, okay, we don't want you to pay late. And it doesn't matter if it's a corporate credit card. Like I said, I worked for a Fortune 500 company before, and I had a credit card. And when I made charges on travels and stuff like that, I actually would get a credit card statement in my mail at my personal address. So what are you talking about? You receive it months afterwards. And all credit cards work the same. You charges, no charges. They send you a statement on the actual date monthly. It's not a couple of months behind. So why are you lying? You act like people don't have credit cards. Stop lying.
Down to the board, we download that offline, and then we give them a copy of the statements as they come in. This idea that they had not received those electronic warrants is pretty ridiculous, seeing as though they passed one every single month before that. Every single month prior to this month, they passed an electronic warrant list, which is a copy of, which is a list of all of the electronic charges and or credit card charges. The second thing is that there was a statement that was made that said that for whatever reason, the board did not cancel the credit card. And that's completely false. When the board decided, when the 4 outliers from the board, and this does not include Trustee Brown or Trustee Holmes, decided that they wanted to take over the bank account without letting anyone.
I have a credit card statement of Freeman. His name is on one of these statements. Oh, actually on all of them, from charges between February into, I think they put it up to September or October. He's on the credit card statement. So why is he lying? You're lying again. So you actually lying twice. You said you didn't have the credit card. Then you said, oh, they canceled the credit card. So we don't have credit cards. Which is it? Then you're saying, oh, we don't get it till 2 months afterwards, or a few months after the charges are made. Which is it, Mr. Freeman? Why are you lying? And why do we have copies of this credit card that's thousands of dollars that you charged on this credit card monthly? You stuff from Amazon. You guys, you think I'm making stuff up? Wait till I show you these credit card statements. That is like really ridiculous. They paying Comcast bills on credit card. Comcast bills on credit cards. Why wouldn't that be a part of just like paying that? Why would you put that on a credit card? I don't understand that. If the city has Comcast, I'm pretty sure it's probably phone service, maybe. Why would that be placed on a credit card? Amazon. Why is that placed on a credit card? What are you ordering from Amazon? I mean, back-to-back charges. What are you ordering from Amazon that you have to buy for the city? What are you ordering?
I know from our finance department, what they did is they essentially took over all of the accounts, not just the bank accounts. Those included the credit accounts. And so in an effort to stop us from providing services for you guys, like cutting trees and putting down concrete, sidewalks,
You don't pay for that off of credit cards. You're lying. You see how you poke holes in, if you know actually how the township work, and I'm only reason why I know how a business will work is because I've been in business before. But like, why are you lying to the people? You're talking about they took over all the accounts, and Tiffany said, oh no, it was just one account. No, but you saying it's all the accounts. Both of y'all lying.
Paving streets, they cut off service to that credit card and other credit cards. There's also one more thing that they said, which was completely untrue, which is they had no idea that the police department had a credit card. I think we know that that's completely false, because not only do they approve an electronic warrant list that says that this is the police department credit card, but there are several emails back and forth from myself, from several trustees about the police department credit card and its uses. And obviously we would not keep a credit card in the name of the former chief. If he's no longer with us, the credit card would be in the name of the current chief. So when you listen to sort of the things that they say, they try to make a mockery of you guys, and they try to, I don't want to call it brainwash, but they try to brainwash you guys, and they just throw out these statements as if no one wants to question it. I think it's pertinent for you guys to ask us important questions. Really listen to what they say. Really listen to what they say, because it's important. And make sure that for whatever reason, that if you do have any questions, reach out to my office or someone in one of our offices, because we're beyond willing to answer any questions. Thank you for your time, Mayor, and I appreciate it.
Okay, next we have Chief Lacey. You ready?
I'm not gonna listen to that. You got this Stan Brown here kissing ass. He's talking about, oh, we got to support our mayor because you the greatest mayor on earth. Pink Book Lesson just put a video out talking about how Tiffany and him didn't even agree because he's not even supposed to be on the board of trustees because he's not even a resident of Dalton. He's not a resident. So I don't know how they union end up getting, but he decided to kiss her ass because she's the person with the money. He likes to ask his anywhere where a camera's at or whatever. This is the guy. He's gonna kiss his way up so he could be under, so he could keep a job or whatever. He's double dipping too because they said he worked for the CTA. Yes, Chicago Transit. So the CTA. How you fulfilling two jobs? What are you doing? And then you live in Chicago, so you don't even have the best interests of the residents of Dalton. You don't care about them because you live in Chicago. This is just like fun for you.
Take those low blows like that and still stand up and get the work done that's being done out here. Thank you, man. Because it takes a lot. She has a mother, she has a daughter, she has a father. First and foremost, the good Lord is healing you and blocking all them blows. Because as she stated, every time you throw one, two of them come right back at you and you never succeed. When you're born into a family, a close-knit family, and you give God all the praises because you can never break through those blessings. Because see, you have been blessed to bless this village, to bless these people. And the village belongs to the people. Just give the people what they need. Who goes around don't want seniors to have anything that's free? They got their own family members who won't help them and take care of them. But
that's not how you run a town. Who goes around who don't want things that's free? Who said it's free? Somebody got to pay for it. You guys, let me know if I'm going in the wrong direction. Okay, we giving out charity work or whatever. But who said whatever they're talking about is free? Paving the street is not free. It costs. Changing the light bulb on the street, that's still not free. It costs. All those things are costs. And the way they're misappropriating funds, that's the whole problem. That's the issue. And you could tell the way he's talking, he don't know nothing about how business is ran. A business is run because someone is paying for it. Someone, a taxpayer, is paying for it. And you got to allocate those funds appropriately or you're going to be up a creek without a paddle. Everything is not free. And I guess she's trying to win over the people and give them a whole bunch of stuff. And the people that need it, they probably don't pay for it anyway because they don't have any property. So they don't pay property taxes. So what are we saying here?
thank you for opening up your eyes and helping. Thank you, Dalton Police Department, same thing, opening up your eyes and seeing what's wrong and try to adjust to what's happening. Last and least, I want the community, if you have those big trucks, those big, large trucks that are parked on your block, they shouldn't be parked there. And I'm talking about those big, huge trucks. Give Dalton Police Department a call because, I get a lot of calls about these big trucks on the blocks overnight, taking up all the space. They cannot park there. They can't.
What is he talking about? Shut up.
Election time comes, and I guarantee you, I'm gonna do something about it when election time comes. You want to say about your tax levy really quick before you start? You.
I just want to bring up Attorney Delgado. Can I mention item C on the Under new business?
Yeah,
Okay.
we should put it on the record.
So I just want to put on the record, item C under new business is a motion to accept and approve the preliminary estimate of the 2023 property tax levy collected in 2024 in accordance with the Truth in Taxation Law of Illinois. We expect the levy to be passed on the December 26th meeting, and we intend to levy the amount of $15,902,079. Thank you.
All right. So we had to put that into record so we won't be behind on deadlines. Next we have Mr. William, and then we will conclude. All right. You're welcome.
Thank you, Mayor, and to our board, and to our hardworking directors and managers, and to our residents. I want to say happy holidays. Mayor, if I can say this, just piggyback on what Trustee Holmes was saying. I believe there's more for you than there are against you.
Yeah.
And I believe these leaders here, we stand with you. We know how hard you work and tirelessly that you work. And we're in the meetings when you're paying, when the things are not being done for the citizens. I love you. We love you. We're going to stand with you. And I encourage every person that's not here, that's watching this, send this young lady, send our mayor some words of encouragement. Send her some things that if you know that she's worked for you, send her some encouragement. Don't stand in the shadows. We got more people coming out saying what they don't like, but I promise you, I'm here 7:30 in the morning. From 7:30 to when I leave, people are calling and saying how well you're doing. Encourage her. Why don't you come and tell her? I tell her every time I see her. Encourage her. She has a family. She has a family, and this is the season of joy. So don't be dismayed by what you see. God is for you.
Shut the hell up, okay? Shut up. I get so tired of black folks talking about encourage her, encourage her, encourage them, encourage him, and they're robbing you blind. Stop doing that. Black folks, stop doing that. If you a criminal, you a criminal. It don't matter what color you are. We get so behind, because they got a title and we elected them. If they wrong, they wrong. Call them out. Call them out for their bullshit. Stop doing that, black folks. That's where we losing at. Just because they black, you can't call them out? No. You supposed to be calling them out on their bullshit. And she's totally wrong. And y'all up there ass kissing her. Like she got so much on her plate. Which she does. She's the mayor and the township supervisor. But she going about it all wrong. She acts like she's the damn queen. And she's not. We got a super chat in. Pocket watching JT. Thank you for the super chat. Great work. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, stop it. Stop it with the madness. We as black folks, we need to stop this shit. We always acting like, oh, at least she black and she got a leadership role. No, if they doing wrong, call them out. How can we move forward as a people and we having leaders, so-called leaders, stealing from their own people? Dalton is 91% black. She's stealing from her own people. She's stealing. Misappropriation of funds. She's stealing. And we're out there, oh, she's great. She's doing this. She's doing that. She's giving out free chillings. Who cares? She had hosted a party. She had a block fair, a techno fest. But she's doing harm to other people. Just because you like free shit, the people that work for their stuff, if they don't support her, she's dogging them out, shutting people businesses down. This one lady, let me show you before I move on to this fool talking about, oh, she's such a great person. No, she's not. She's full of shit and she's a thief. She's not a great person. Like I said, she wants to be the queen. And you got these fools up here talking about, oh, she's so great. The Lord is on your side. No, the devil is on your side. The Lord is on your side. Oh my God, we should be supporting her. No, you shouldn't be supporting her. I'm sorry. You shouldn't be supporting her. You need to be, especially if they black. You black, she black. You need to call her out. You need to call her out on the bullshit.
this bitch. Like, she blows the fuck.
Listen to this lady. Now, apparently, this lady live in the Dalton Township, and she has a business, and she mad as hell.
Since y'all so support this bitch, like, she blows the fuck. This is what we get. She like the principal of Abbott Elementary. Like, why the fuck is your face out of everybody on every motherfucking page? Every motherfucking page. All of it. Like, the kids. She care about the kids. No, this bitch care about her big bomb ass face being posted on every fucking thing. She's a weirdo. She looking out for her people, and her people only gonna come to my motherfucking building sitting here trying to hold off and threaten to fail motherfucker because this bitch want us to use her specific people. Yeah, that's why she's fucking corrupt. That's why she's fucking weird. That's why she fucking needs to go.
You hear that? She says she needs to go. You heard that. The lady said she came to her business, threatened her, probably her people, not Tiffany Henyard per se, but maybe she did. They said she needs to use their contractors. Who does that? Or we gonna shut your building down? Who does that kind of stuff? A corrupt politician. So when you guys they getting on there praising her like she's such a great person, she's not. She's a bully. And she's stealing from black people. She's stealing. Let's continue to listen to this fool.
He is for you. He's more than the whole world against you. Okay, so I thank you for the honor to serve with you, and we're going to get through this, God willing. Amen. So I'll go ahead and give my report. Thank you. And I'll just give that high level for housing. We had a grand total of $55,367.97 of fees that we collected. And for our permits for the month of November, we had a grand total of $46,981.24, bringing us to a grand total of $102,349.21. Mayor, that concludes my report, and we'll be back here in the morning working to serve our residents. Thank you for the honor.
Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes my report.
All right. If anybody would like to address this body, anybody from administration about an issue or something that we need to address, please let us know your issue or your concern. Lastly, stay safe. Love on each other. I say this all the time. Call your neighbor.
You saying that, let us know. No, you need to be addressing it during the board meeting. Stop putting people on hold when they call for the township. Then when they call the township, you're telling them they asked for a name and you can't give out your name. Why? Why can't you give out your name? If I call about a problem, why can't you give out the name? You see, she bragged about, oh, we had a water main break and the public works came out there and took care of the water. This lady in this next meeting, she said they shut off the water and they couldn't get an answer. They couldn't get nobody on the phone. You couldn't get nobody on the phone. Then finally, she said she had the supervisor of the water department. She ended up calling him because I guess she knows him personally. And he said, oh, about 2 hours. That was 10 hours later. It's crazy. Let's go to this next meeting. Now, this is the special meeting that they held. The special board meeting. Let me share this tab with you.
Okay, I'm sorry, I was writing my notes. Trustee Norwood. Aye. Trustee Tam.
Okay, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. This is a 2-hour meeting. I'm not doing that. I just have some specific highlights. Okay, so we already talked about vendors that are approved, but the checks are still on the desk. Okay, they feel also in this meeting, they tell us that they feel like they're overpaying for some of these vendors, some of these unapproved vendors, they're overpaying for the services. And since they have the duty and responsibility of the financials of Dalton Village, they want to make sure that they are doing their duty of not overpaying for service. They're doing a disservice to the residents if they're overpaying for service, which I totally agree. So some of these unapproved vendors that's been doing work, that's why they're not approving it. Because number one, they're not on the vendor list. Number two, the services was not pre-approved prior to them doing work. And then number three is a disservice to the resident for them to say, okay, you did the work, let's just approve the check. And I think they should keep on the path. Do not approve it. Teach them a lesson. No, this is what we have in place. This is part of our Constitution, because they mentioned the Constitution or their bylaws. This is what we do. If it's over a certain dollar amount, you have to get it pre-approved before the work is performed. And the work that's being performed, it has to be a part of the vendor approved list. So what is wrong with that? Why are people, even the residents that love Tiffany Henyard, why don't they understand that? I mean, I think that's a great thing to do. Wouldn't you want somebody tell you, oh, I think you're overpaying for that service? Well, I don't know if you want to use that contractor because they haven't did work for me before. I never heard of that contractor. You might want to check these contractors out because they pass whatever they need to pass. And I know they do a good job. Isn't that usually how it works? So you just going willy-nilly, or even in your household, you got a window that need fixed. You get a quote, right? You get a quote for some work. You usually get 2 to 3 contractors out, and then you discuss it with your husband or your wife, and you look at your budget. Oh, I ain't spending more than X amount of dollars on that. Then you talk about, oh, I don't know about that guy. That guy looked kind of sketchy. Oh, I saw his work. They showed you, oh, his work looked really nice. Or so-and-so referred me to this person. Why is that so hard? So that's what they're talking about in this meeting. So on this particular part, they talk about $110,000 of credit card spending. And they don't have a ACH, which is a bank account, electronic warrant list. Basically a reconciliation. That's what you would call it in business, I'm assuming, of what are they spending their money on. They don't really know. They probably don't even know what's in a bank account, really. And they're the boards of trustees. So that's what they're getting into.
We have to be badgered and we have to be frustrated, and we never get our question asked. But as residents, just again, so you all know, if we do have that first meet, CAL meet, like the administration is supposed to have, then we can ask questions, you all can ask questions, and we won't be blindsided, and we'll know more when it's time to vote. Because that's our ultimate thing. We feel as if we're required to make decisions, but we can't make informed decisions because we never have the information and our questions aren't being answered. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Trustee Norwood. Any additional comments?
I'll make sure that I get a copy of that ordinance number and provide it to everybody as soon as I get it. Thank you.
Okay.
We'll put it on our YouTube page.
Next item up is corporate bills. For item 8, the electronic warrant list. We will not be voting on that this evening. The electronic warrant list was not provided to the Board of Trustees. The electronic warrant list is the list that would maintain anything auto ACH payments, auto draft payments that come out of your account, as well as the credit card payments go on the electronic warrant list. As there's already been enough publication of there's a lot of questions that members of the board have about the credit card statements and the payments, and that information has not been provided. As such, we are not in a position tonight to make a vote on that warrant list. I'll yield for a moment to see if any other board members have comments on this item.
Yes, I do.
Trustee Norwood.
Just one. That's as if like as stated last night, we have $110,000 worth of credit card spending that isn't accounted for. We've asked for months for the receipts. Again, we don't have any receipts. So when you ask us to sit there and make a decision regarding voting, as a resident, it wouldn't be fair to you all if we didn't do our due diligence and say, hey, produce the receipts before we produce a payment. No one here or no person in their right mind will pay a bill if you haven't even seen a receipt. ComEd can't call you and say, hi, just so you know you used 5,000 watts last month, and I want to know if you can give me $500. The first thing a person will ask is if they can see it. Where's the evidence? Where's the proof? So that you can make an informed decision. And that's the issue that we have in regards to why we're not voting, why we're not making these decisions. Because we like to have the evidence before we make a decision. Thank you.
Okay. Comments, any other board members? Okay, hearing none, I'm going to transition into, and I'll ask everybody to bear with me, I'm pulling up our AP warrant list that was provided, which are the invoices for checks that are to be written. So I want to make sure I'm reading these amounts into record.
So basically, what they're doing is the people that they approved already, they're gonna approve that. The stuff that they didn't approve or they didn't have time to review, they're taking it off the list. Okay, so that's that. This is what I really want to get into.
Getting it communicated. We previously would go through have a budget meeting and go and offer residents line by line an opportunity to ask questions and actually respond to those questions to the best of our ability. And we would have the finance, the accountant that assisted in preparing it, available too. So there's a lot of challenges with this process, and I hope with this not going successfully this year, that next year can return back to the normal process, which had proven to work. Having said that, we'll be asking that we take the budget that had been presented for the board meeting. I will ask for I'll ask for board comments first, but I do have a proposal that I would like to make, amending some items on there, but I want to get comments from the board to see if that's the direction we should go in. So any comments from board members?
I'm sorry. And this is in what?
The budget, the budget ordinance.
I'm not comfortable with the budget. I don't want to vote on it now. I don't want to vote on it tomorrow because I'm not comfortable with it.
Okay.
And I'm not. And in this discussion, the numbers are fictitious, fake, inflated, not realistic, and our village administrator sat in the meeting and said we had all these other approved grants. Why we don't see those grants in the budget too, but we see a $6.8 million budget grant that's in the budget to make the numbers go, to make it seem like we have a surplus for a budget that's not accurate. I had a concern about if we got all this grant money coming in, why we taking out loans. I do understand that the taxes are behind and we do need money to flow, to transition to property taxes come in. But to put money in there, and I say this to repeat something that was even said in another meeting, that someone made a promise to give $5 million to the township, then coincidentally, the money didn't come. So how are we banking a budget on $6.8 million grant that's supposed to come, and still we've asked documentation for it, any type of information just to suffice, and haven't got it. But once again, shove it down your throat, just vote on it. I'm not comfortable with it, but I'm a team player, and I do want to personally just say I'm not comfortable with it. But I will be asking that if we got $6.8 million coming in, we don't need to take out a bond.
And she's absolutely right. Why are we taking out a bond on if we have surplus in cash? Now they said they behind in collecting taxes or whatever, and they do need, operating money. But why, if we have these grants coming in and all this other stuff, why are we taking out a loan while we're already in debt, close to $7 million in debt? So I'm not mad at her for saying that. But if Tiffany Henyard and her cronies will all get together and talk about that civilly or whatever, and them not being on defense because they're pointing that out, you would know that. But all this hiding, I don't want you to let you know what I spent on my credit card. You're asking me to pay. I'm hiring these vendors and we didn't discuss, or we didn't approve these vendors, or we didn't approve the work. You're just doing whatever. This is what you get. This is like having a wife. You working, and I use the wife because it's normal for the man to work. Forgive me, all you feminists out there. This is like you going to work every day and you having a wife going shopping every day. Whatever you make, she's spending at the store, on a shoe store, at the shoe store buying fancy shoes or whatever. And she's hiding it. And then you get this credit card statement. And you like, where are all these charges coming from? We can't afford this. We can't afford it. Instead of you guys sitting down, okay, this is your, I guess, spending budget or whatever. This is what we could afford for you to spend on shoes. But your wife's still like, oh, I need these shoes. And it's above the budget. But honey, I look great in them. Who cares? It's above your budget. This is what you get when you have someone that don't care about being on a budget. But it affects everybody that's in that township because it's their money. It's the money that they're collecting from taxes and civil tickets and parking tickets, or upgrades. If you got to get a permit or whatever, that's all that stuff is included. Business taxes, business licenses, liquor licenses. This is all tax paying, business operating money. The people that live there, and they're just spending it like they don't care. It's not my money. So what? Anyway, it's irresponsible. It's fiscally irresponsible.
Okay. So thank you for your comments. And I think being uncomfortable, well, for one, I'm in complete agreement. There is no need for us to take out a bond or do any additional bond or funding that costs us interest. until we get the expense side of it and the spending done in a more responsible manner. So having said that, with Trustee Belcher's comments not being uncomfortable, we will take more time to dive into the budget and make sure and do something that is more comfortable for board members and also communicate. It will be pressing, so there likely will be another special board meeting, but we want to move forward in a manner that the residents and board members are comfortable. Next item on the agenda, a motion to accept and approve the preliminary estimate for the 2023 property tax levy. Every year, the Board of Trustees has to pass a tax levy. That does not necessarily mean there's a tax increase proposed in there, but we have to pass a tax levy. And this year's proposal that was given to it, I want to, again, this is an area I want to kind of compare and contrast years past to what we got to kind of.
Well, I could say this now, that they're not going to approve the tax levy. I guess the report on why they should increase the tax levy is lacking. It's only one page. It's a one-page report. Yeah, increase it by 5%, and that's it. Okay, you didn't give us a reason why we should increase it. You didn't give us any type of data, performance data, whatever they do. Assessments, whatever they do when they look at tax levy increases. They just gave them a one-page report and they said they're not going to increase it. What I can say, someone mentioned that they haven't increased their taxes in like 15, 20 years, which is pretty odd. You think they would increase their taxes. I mean, your value of your house does increase, I think, or at least about 3% at a normal rate, 3 to 5% at a normal rate. So I could see them, the city or the township, increasing their taxes. But that's neither here nor there. They're not going to increase. They're not going to approve it anyway. But their debt service is pretty high. Then they talked about ordinance being violated because they held the meeting somewhere else. And now this part, Keith Freeman is here, being a troll. And
gotta get this code, right?
Really threatening
All right.
the assessor. Well, not threatening. He's just picking with her, trying to intimidate her.
Put the time on.
I just want to make sure I abide by the rules, whatever the rules are. Just want to abide by it. I know this isn't a regular meeting, so.
Robert's Rule of Order.
Okay, y'all respect, let him talk like he let y'all talk. Let him talk.
I'm not complaining to you guys.
Point of order.
Yeah, let's go.
All I want to do, thank you, I appreciate it. Would you please send me a copy of that ordinance?
You know I will.
Also, whenever you get an opportunity, you can send it, or I can come pick it up, whatever you want to do. Madam Clerk, if you could please provide me with a copy of all of the village ordinances, I would appreciate it.
There's no way I can give you all of the village ordinance. You tell me what you need and I'll make sure you get it.
Well, I don't know, I may not be a
Tell me which
resident at all.
ordinance you need and I will get it to
I am a village
you.
administrator, and what I'm requesting is, like anyone from the general public is, and I hope that you guys hold them to the same standard as me. If you guys requested a copy of all the ordinances, then you guys would expect me to give you a
That's
copy of the
unreasonable,
ordinances.
right?
Whether I got it to you or not, the expectation would be that you guys got me the ordinances. So what I am requesting, please, is, my name is Keith Freeman. I am a village administrator. My email address is kfreeman@vildalton.org.
Okay.
I appreciate it. I am requesting a copy of all of the village ordinances, any copy that you have, anything that's codified, anything that has not been codified, in any manner in which you give it to. If you could, and I understand, that is tedious. If you could possibly get that to me at any time frame, just let me know when you can get it to me. I appreciate it. I'll stop by your office tomorrow.
He wants all the village ordinance, anything that been codified or not codified. He wants a copy of it. And all the while, you're the administrator and you can't even produce the things that they ask. You don't even send them the list for the trustee meeting. You don't send the necessary information so they could review and vote on. So why are you asking this request? And you're not the village. You're not part of the residents. And why don't you go through the proper channels? You need to submit a FOIA request. So why are you asking that? You just being an asshole at this point.
And you can tell me, or if you want to make an appointment, I can make an appointment. You just let me know how you want to do it. I just like a copy of all of the ordinances if you can. Also, please, the adjustments that you made or the amendments that you made to the budget, excuse me, not the budget, but the tax levy. You made a comment that you had a 16-page document. You will receive that 16-page document again prior to us passing the tax levy on the 26th. This was a copy of the, what I sent you was the estimate of the tax levy. And I believe you received that last year on November 22nd. We just didn't have a meeting, so you didn't get it this time. But I'll tell you what, I'll send you that. But you always receive the email. And I went back to the previous year with Dorothy Brown. Every year, you guys receive a copy of the estimates, an email saying what the estimates of the tax levy are for approval, and then you guys, whatever adjustments you're gonna make, you usually make adjustments later. So, I just wanna make that clear. The 16-page document he received after, he received the same estimate that he just received before. I don't think anybody would dispute.
Stop it with the madness. Did he receive it or not? You're saying that he received the 16-page estimate, then you send it afterwards. Which is it? Do you guys understand what he's doing? Just a word salad, so you could just be like, oh, you received it afterwards, and then you received it you received it last year on November the 6th. What are you talking about? Did you send it or not? No, you didn't. You sent the estimate and they didn't get the other stuff. So stop lying to the people once again.
I just want to note that for the record. I appreciate you guys being silent today. Let me see. The state ordinance, when we talk about warrant list, I have a state ordinance for the warrant list, but I want to know if there's a state ordinance or an ordinance that defines how you guys go about passing the bills, what's considered a passable bill, what bills shouldn't be approved, what that status is. How do you guys go about that matter? I'm sure there's some type of ordinance. If, for whatever reason, the clerk would send me a copy of the ordinances, I would know what matters those are approved.
Too burdensome.
I'm just requesting information.
Please allow.
I'm just requesting information.
Okay.
Yes.
That's it. I said nothing.
Yeah, please allow.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it. So a copy of that. Is this being live streamed? Yes. Appreciate that. Can I get a copy of? Is this company? Don't trust you. Okay, so I'll get a copy.
But just for the record, please notate that the village media person is here recording it.
Yes.
That's on the books. That's paid by the. So just for the record, he has He has James. Yes. So he also has a copy.
I would like a copy that's being recorded. If you can, I totally understand. I would just like a copy that's being requested. If you can. The last thing I'll say is that in terms of working with you guys, it has been contentious at best. But I appreciate every single one of you guys sitting right here, and every single one of you guys. I know that you guys sometimes think that we are smirking at you and we're laughing at you, that we don't hear your concerns. I hear all of you guys every single time you guys say something. Whether we can answer it or not, the goal is to get it done. We do have a slow process picking up calls and things like that. There's an overwhelming amount of calls that we get. We will work to fix that. I will say this though. If you guys are going to go about the process of, condemning the administration, anyone in the administration, Mayor Tiffany Henyard, and anyone else, I do think that, before you guys decide you want to do that, if we're going to stand here and let someone else ridicule the mayor or ridicule myself or make fun of us, or, do funny noises, and then clap afterward, then, maybe for whatever reason, we should start looking each other in the face. If we're going to laugh at, if you guys want us to behave in a manner in which you feel like, for whatever reason, we're being respectful to you, and I think for the most part I've been respectful to all of you, I think that maybe we should show some respect too. And because she is not here to stand here and talk to you guys, right?
She was invited.
She wasn't invited. She is not here.
No, they never get invited. It's Michael's big holiday sale.
She was invited, but she didn't come. Actually, all of them was invited. But none of them showed up. So, right now he's just being a dick. That's basically what he's doing.
Okay. Listen, we received an agenda. We did not receive a formal invite.
You got an invite. We got a copy of it.
Hey, listen.
You got an invite. We got a copy of it. Now keep it going.
Well,
keep it going.
I did not receive a formal invite. I got a copy of the agenda. So I came. Thank you guys for sending me the
Just
agenda.
like we get a copy
I'd
of
just like to say, hey, listen, before you guys start talking about someone else's behavior, the things that I have just witnessed, while someone...
Why do you think it's that way? Angela, allow him to speak as if he was at a regular
I think
meeting.
it's a good question. If you would allow, Chair, Mr. Chair, if you would allow...
Point of order.
Everybody.
Point of order. The goal is to come in here and try to disrupt the meeting, so please don't even feed into it. Allow him to speak and let him say what he needs to say, and we, just like they tell us, put all of your stuff in the email that you're requesting and we'll get it to you, and hopefully we can get that information. We'll allow you to continue to talk, and we're gonna move on, but we're not gonna allow you to come in here and disrupt it and then say that it's gonna be just like what goes on in there. Well, that's what we're trying to stop. So we're gonna continue to do what we're supposed to do, allow you to speak, because you are the person that is the village administrator, but you have to be open to understand that these concerns that are right here are amongst a lot of people. So when you feel like you're being put on the spot, and I'm just saying that, and what they're doing is because they're dishing out what they receive also. So when you sit there and you don't do it, but I'm saying when these residents come to meetings and they have all these clap back videos and all that, just because it's not being said by a person, it's still happening and affecting them. So you can continue your comments and then we can move on, because we have a limited time, because we're in the park district, because we can't have a meeting in our own home, which is the village hall.
Again, I was not trying to disrupt the meeting. The young lady...
Yes, you was. He was trying to disrupt the meeting. The bunch of crap. Okay, so he's trying to disrupt the meeting. Valerie Stubbs talks. She was a ex trustee, but that's the one that Tiffany Henyard went to her house to harass her, talking about, oh, you called me to shovel your snow, and Valerie Stubbs like, no, I didn't call you to shovel my snow. I don't even know why you're doing here. Why are you in my house or at my house? But yes, so she spoke, and then let me just pull her up. But now, interesting, Valerie Stubbs, she used to be the police chief or police deputy or something like that. But she had a high position, so she knows about the law and what they're doing wrong. And so she talked about how she's just waiting for people to get arrested.
She talked to the residents and the trustee, and I thank God that I'm not sitting up there, because she talked to you like you lower than whale shit. Imagine if a whale shit, how low would it go? And it's really not funny, it's sad. And I commend you all for standing up there yesterday and walking out after you had made a motion and second the motion to adjourn the meeting. That's the way it's supposed to go, according to the municipal law, according to Robert's Rules and Order, and she was out of order along with Keith Ass, and I wanted him to be in here when I said this. Keith Ass, because he was out of order for continuing the meeting. Once they adjourned and she would not let Clerk Keith call the roll and they got up and exited, she did not have a quorum. So therefore, the sorry ass attorney and the rest of them should have gotten their asses up and left right behind us, because she did not. City Girl Mayor did not have a quorum, and she's spending all our money. That's why she's on 154th, giving out $500 tickets. She done made promises to everybody on the universe with these contracts and didn't get approval from the board, did not get an RFP. This is why we have rules and regulations to be followed. The ordinance right here, I was sitting on the board at that particular time that Trustee Belcher just gave to us. Unfortunately, I was absent that day, but I would have voted on this, okay, because you need transparency. And City Girl Mayor needs to go to prison along with Keith Freeman, along with Stan Brown. Can I say this? Stan Brown works for Thornton Township. His wife works for Thornton Township. Are you all recording this? His son was working for Thornton Township. So he have a vested interest in Mayor Tiffany Henyard to do what she want to do. Say do. You have Andrew Holmes. I call him lost in space. Lost in space because he don't know what the hell he doing up there, and all he do is sit up there and dwindle. Okay? He have no business sitting up there. Riley Rogers brought him to town, and he need to go because he ain't doing nothing but taking our tax dollars. And this is my right hand to God. This is the truth. Ask yourself the question, what is he doing and what have he brought to the table since he been sitting up there for 2 terms? Absolutely nothing. But some old food and some dead flowers. I'm keeping it real with you, 100. He have no vested interest in this community whatsoever, and I'm sick of it. And just like last night, I got up and I stood up and I said, they have adjourned, they had a motion on the floor. I think we all need to come just like we're here today. Come to that meeting, and when they out of order, check them.
Thank you very much. And Chair, I have one comment I want to make, sir.
Well, Valerie Stubbs, she kind of knows what's going on. She knows the internal things that's going on with them. I want to play this part, and this is the assessor talking about. Well, hold on for a second. This particular lady, she gets into the budget, and she's questioning, well, okay, you paying parts of the budget, parts of the credit card. Why aren't you paying all of the credit cards?
They have receipts, they have all that, but the administration on their end, it's always, this is what we're doing and this is what's happening, but they never show us any receipts. They just say, this is what's going on. That won't work anymore, because if we have a deficit, we need to know that we have a deficit. And I think if people see that, or if it's tangible in their hands or something that they can see, then maybe we can start to move forward. The author of all the chaos in the village of Dalton is our village administrator. I think as a whole, we need to demand that he resign. You know, everybody is replaceable. I mean, show us his contract. Who is he? He is not the mayor. We need to be able to get the answers, and he's not going to give them to us. You know, as far as even he's asking the clerk for all this information, he can get it. He's the IT king. He's locking folks out their email. So, you know, you have the information. We know that he was sent here to disrupt the meeting. We know that. I mean, it is sad. He has a police officer escorting him to a meeting, and if I call the police tonight because somebody is breaking in my neighbor's car, which did happen, and nobody will show up, but somebody that doesn't even live in our town.
He got security now, too.
Yes, so. I guess so. But again, we need to, as residents, and she can reappoint him every month. Who cares about that? But we need to be on record as residents and as a board to let them know that this is not acceptable, and that the author of chaos is not going to just be here and do whatever he wants to do, and we just sit back and we take it. We need to let everyone know that we don't want him here. I wanted to leave this meeting. You know how hard it was for me to sit here, because I do not go to board meetings with him here. He's dangerous. You know, they walk around with police protection, but we can't even be safe because we don't know what they're doing. They use the police however they want to, you know, to protect them, and they're the criminals. But again, we as residents need to demand that he resign. We need to do that. We need to that he resign. We need to do that. There is no reason for him to sit in our face and make $100,000 and then more money at the township, and he's never at the village, from what I'm understanding. I mean, he is the author of all of this chaos. And when we have to pick our battles, he's the biggest battle. Because if he wasn't here, we wouldn't be going through this. Some of it at least, because we all know that she ain't smart enough to do all this stuff. He is the engine to this train of chaos. It's over. It's ridiculous. And the powers that be, we need to get on our senators, our state representatives, everybody. It's time for everybody to stop. Oh my gosh, she's terrible. It's time for that to stop. You know, everybody is saying it in secret, but they're doing nothing. Nothing. So, again.
I got one comment on the financials, and I don't know how I neglected to do this. All the way until last month, we were receiving monthly financial reports. This month, we did not receive a monthly financial report the way that we traditionally would. When we talk about the deficit, last fiscal year through May, the deficit was 2.5 million in our operating account. This year through the report we got, which was September 30th, I pulled that up as you were speaking. So from May through September, there was an additional $4.2 million of deficit. So you couple those two together, the deficit is growing and it's approaching 7 million. And I will share that financial report. We have not received anything this month. And my concern, and sometimes you kind of joke your way through some of the pain because it really is painful. But we speak how in different meetings, Trustee Belcher will bring a lease or an invoice, and then the retaliation on the next month is we don't get access to the accounting system. Here, we talk month after month about our deficit and what it is, and now we're not receiving the financial information, and as if it's a punishment to the Board of Trustees. And I again keep encouraging, put it on the website where it belongs. It is a detriment in terms of our ability to do our job, and sometimes calling this information out, that's what we're left with if we try to work with the administration and they refuse to give. I want to kind of conclude as we have a lot.
So deficit is close to $7 million. There's $7 million in it. That's crazy. This last one on this particular stream that I want to highlight. This is a vendor that Tiffany Henyard finagled to do some work, and they wasn't on a vendor approved list. So they decided to come up to the meeting asking where their money is. Why they didn't show up for the last meeting, we don't know. Maybe they didn't call on them, or maybe they didn't think to show up. But they came to this meeting because Tiffany Henyard told them, hey, you need to ask the trustees. So that's why he showed up today.
A lot of people, but I think I want to make sure everybody has an opportunity to speak. Are we going to the last row?
Yes.
Anybody in the last row?
John's
Yes, sir.
Good evening, Mr. House.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Belcher and the rest of the board here. I thought I'd come by and ask a few questions, so hopefully you don't find it abrasive or anything like that. I don't mean it to be. But I notice every month you keep taking the same contractors off the list.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why you keep taking the same contractors off the list?
They were not approved in the budget.
You're taking me off the list for 5 months in a row. You cite the bill at $155,000. It's not. It's $381,000 and growing with interest. Why not just pay the bill? I don't want
two comments.
Every week, if you do the math, these folks here are paying me $1,000 a week in interest.
Would you like me to respond?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The item was not approved in the budget. The board, who is the rightful people to enter a contract with, did not approve a contract. And as you've already indicated your intent to sue, I know our attorney has also responded in your message. So I think those reasons have been kind of outlined, and we probably should be
never asked to give a contract. We asked to give a proposal. There's 90% of them contractors that don't have
Okay. Now, here's what's interesting. You were asked for a proposal from the mayor.
She has that.
And then you come to the board asking for payment. I would suggest you go back to the mayor and ask for your payment, because that's who you made the deal with.
I was told to come see you guys.
Who told you that?
Well,
did you come see us before you started cutting trees?
No. The mayor hired us.
So go talk to her about the payment.
The mayor hired us, and we working at the discretion of Public Works. We have all the text messages.
Okay. So she's probably the best person for you to get your answers from.
But I mean, you keep taking us off the contract, off the warrant list. You know you've got to pay the bill.
Okay, well, so
You know you have.
I understand. Any additional questions?
So why won't you at least make an attempt to pay on some of that?
It's already been referred to our attorney, who's in communication with you.
I mean, you paid the first bill, then you stop paying.
This kind of sounds redundant. So I think the course I would suggest is through the attorney that you've hired, he's communicating with ours, and see what
We
headway
sent
you
you a
made
letter
there.
of demand. We haven't filed suit yet, but I mean, I don't want to go there. You all know that. Ms. Belcher knows that. The mayor knows that. I'm trying to resolve this in an amicable manner.
Yes, I think that's likely the most amicable it's going to be.
All right.
Hold on a
Say
second.
something?
All right,
Can
we're going
can I go to say I'm a citizen?
Former trustee.
So you see, oh boy, House said you need to consult with your attorney or consult with the mayor, because she hired you to do the job. You didn't consult us before you started doing the job, so why are you consulting us now? And then he said it was a request for a proposal or RFP. Then you want money. I don't understand that part, but this is what she does. She hires people to do work and don't pay them because she didn't get approval for the work. And this is the running thing. She just spending money like she don't have any type of responsibility. She's not fiscal responsible. Let's get into some of these credit card statements, you guys. I found some credit card statements on their Facebook page. Let me share this with you. This is on one of their Facebook pages called Dalton Politics. So I don't know if it's their Facebook page or whose Facebook page it is, but it's on Facebook. Let me look at some of your quotes too, or your comments. Tiffany hasn't learned what civil mean. No, she don't know what civil mean. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Tiffany, the same woman, what does it say? The same woman arrested the business owners who wouldn't lay down and block off the parties who didn't put her face on their stuff. She can't be civil. Yeah, she likes to put her face on everything. She is the super mayor. She's full of crap. I'm surprised Thornton Township, she's on Thornton Township, and we haven't heard a lot from them because they don't post none of their stuff up. But just imagine she's running amok in Dalton, the small village of Dalton. You think she'll be running amok in this other village or township? You know she is. I've seen a couple of videos that she's acting crazy. So, and you know she's spending money like crazy there too. Some of these credit card receipts are really ridiculous. They are really ridiculous. Somebody put my post in here. I didn't do that. Somebody else did. Let me see if I can find it. Maybe just go to the link. This is the super mayor travel expenses. Now, I went through and looked at the travel expenses. And like I said, this is a little bit on the ridiculous side. They went to Selma in February. And they went February. I guess they went back in March. They got some stuff in March. I don't know why these are two different times, but this is the itemized bill. I guess something they have to fill out. And you can see that they spent $15,000 on this trip. $15,000 to Alabama for 3 people. You went to Alabama and you spent $15,000. Did you go to Disney World? What the hell did you do? Can anybody tell me what is worth $15,000? Do they have like luxury, like super luxury in Selma, Alabama? Luxury hotel? Like, what are you doing there? That's what this whole thing totals. $15,000. They got a bunch of $19 charges, $66 charges. It's all blank out. It said United Airlines is probably drinks. That's what I'm assuming. Drinks. Or it can't be. Well, if they did first class, but they only spent $528 on a ticket, so why are these other charges? I mean, what is this about? That's in February. In March, they went to Washington, D.C. They go on a trip every year, you guys. I mean, every month. In March, they went to Washington, D.C. You notice Keith Freeman is on. He's the administrator. So he's on every trip. Who's this Ferner Dukes? We don't know who that is. This next trip, Maria Malero with Tiffany and Keith. They spent $14,000. They spent $14,000. They spent $1,600 at the Courtyard, another $2,200 at the Courtyard, and another $2,200 at the Courtyard Marriott. I'm assuming they did first class fights for this, but it's $14,000 for Washington, D.C. They don't really tell us how long they stayed, but $14,000 for 3 people. I'm speechless. For 3 people, you spend $14,000. We take our kids on. We might go somewhere different for the family vacation this year, but every year we go on our Disney family vacation, and we always book first class flights. With all that being said, it's 4 of us. We book first class flights. We stay in a pretty decent hotel. It's a 4-star or above, because we trying to teach our kids, okay, you spend, but we don't never spend no other money throughout the year. I mean, like on trips or anything like that. So our trip usually costs us, and this is theme park type stuff. We go to the theme park every day, and it's like a 4-day trip. We spend about $8,500. It was something a little bit less than that the prior year, but the first class flight tickets is literally about the same every year. But anywho, probably about eight grand we spend on 4 people with first class tickets. 4 people, $8 grand, $14,000 for 3 people. What the hell are you doing? Somebody tell me. $14,000. What are you doing? What are you doing? And they get $600 a day per diem. Oh, for 4 days. They went 4 days, and they spent $14,000 for 4 days. And they get $600 a day per diem. Usually per diem will include your food, right? But on their township, and they need to change that, because if any other company, per diem is usually includes your food and your stay. It don't include hotel or whatever. Not hotel, but it don't include like your flight. But usually per diem is usually, hey, you got to make do where you're staying at. But $600 a day for per diem. You making more traveling out of town than you do at your job. When you travel all the time out of town every day, all the time, because you get this $600 a day per day. Somebody tell me if I'm going in the wrong direction. I don't know. This, to me, this is really ridiculous. But this is part of her travel expenses. They went to Springfield. Springfield, 5 employees, $400 a day, elected officials, $400 a day for 3 days. And they spent $13,000 for 3 days for 5 people in Springfield. You didn't even catch a flight there. They didn't even catch a damn flight, and they spent $13,000 because they receive $400 a day for 5 people for the per diem. That doesn't even make any sense. Now they Vegas trip, they they took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 people went on a Vegas trip. 9 people. Tiffany Henyard bought a flight. Tiffany and Keith, they both spent a flight $3,700 on a flight. $3,700, $3,741 on 8 flights from Chicago to Vegas. They took 9 people. They took 9 people with them. They got their $600 a day for elected officials. That was 3 people. And their employees, they got $280 per employee for 4 people. I guess that's per diem. They spent a total of $34,000 on a trip for 5 days. $34,000. It's right here, you guys. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen it. $34,000 for a 5-day trip. Lodging for some of this was $3,000. Where in the hell did you stay? PH lodging. What's PH, you guys? Tell me. I don't know. In Vegas, what's PH? Gotta be a fancy hotel. But it was $3,000 for 5 days. $3,000. That's a little bit on the ridiculous side. That is really on the ridiculous side. How can they not print all the ordinance in the town rules and laws? How could people follow or be expected to follow the ordinance if they don't know what they are? Robert Hans, if you're an elected official, you should know what the rules are. If you're an administrator, there's rules that I'm pretty sure that he probably, before they hired him, or maybe not, because if Tiffany hired him, maybe he didn't have access to it or whatever. But anyway, if you're an elected official, you should be able to research the ordinance, because how can you fulfill your duties if you don't know the ordinance? Now, if you're just talking about just the regular residents, okay, I have questions about this particular ordinance. Call up there and ask, hey, I'm questioning, and whatever department it's affiliated with, I have a question about this ordinance. That's logical reasoning. Anyway, didn't want to get off on that. They spent $34,000 on a trip to Vegas. $34,000. Now they went to Missouri. MS is Missouri, right? Jackson, Missouri. They took 5 people. This was back in June, and they spent $21,000 for 4 days. They all bought first class tickets because it doesn't cost that much to fly to Missouri from Illinois. So this all had to be first class tickets. Besides Maria. Maria, she got downgraded. Carmen Carlisle, she was upgraded. I don't know who Carmen is, but maybe somebody that works for the village. And they all got $600 a day per diem. $7,200 just on a per diem. Then the city has to pay for their lavish steak dinners, $1,200 for a rental car. That's a little bit on the ridiculous side, but whatever. Lobby cafe, Whataburger. So it looks like they stayed in 2 different hotels, maybe, or maybe not. They separated these line items. But I don't understand why they got them so spread out. 6'2", 6'10". I guess this is what they put in the system at the date when they keyed it in, maybe, I'm assuming. But they spent $21,000 in Jackson, Missouri, which is ridiculous. Austin, Texas, they spent another $33,000 for 5 people. Tiffany Freeman went again with Keith. Keith is on all these trips. Keith is on every single last one of these trips. And he's living a life. He's living a life. They had something, the bike ride to Springfield. That was another $20,000. They said from the total travel, you guys. Total travel from January the 23rd to September the 15th. This year, they spent $173,000 on traveling. Where in the hell did you go for $173,000? Now, if you was traveling and you had to pay for it for yourself, you wouldn't dare spend that much money. But you expect this township, the village of Dalton, to foot your bill because you don't have to pay for it. You're the illustrious mayor. $173,000. Now, this is the credit card statement that Keith Freeman lied, saying that they canceled the credit card, and clearly he's on this credit card because there's statements from him. But peep this, you guys. They actually paid the full bill. They pay the balance off. They pay the balance off every month. So I don't know if this credit card is still open, but it's with Old National Bank. And it starts back in February. February, they had new charges come in, purchases of $129,000 on credit cards. And we're going to get into it because none of this shit makes any sense. A gas bill. My only question, okay, if you're the city, you paying a gas bill, whatever, why would you put it on your credit card? Wouldn't that be a part of The accountant's department there, if it's an actual building that the city owns, wouldn't that be, hey, we got to pay the gas bill, send it to the county treasurer or whoever pays the bills, accounts payable, and they supposed to pay the gas bill? No, you got two gas bills. I don't know who they are, but they're $1,300. $1,300 and another, well, both of them $1,300. You could just say $1,300. You got Comcast on here, almost $900. Amazon, look at all these Amazon charges. Amazon, PS Creative Adobe, $836. Amazon. It's a lot of Amazon stuff. Then you got a lot of Comcast bills on here. Extra space. Don't know what that is. What does extra space mean? A lot of those. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 charges for extra space. If I had time, let me see. I could find out what the extra space is. Maybe it's a storage unit. Yeah, it's a storage unit. It's a storage unit. What are they storing? Can anybody throw a lifeline? What are they storing? Something leasing company. Republic Service Trash, $4,400. And I don't understand. Like the city now, if this is something that they normally do, they need to stop doing this. I mean, how can you say I'm, being fiscally responsible and you're paying gas bills and all that stuff on your credit card? That doesn't make any sense. Wouldn't you put that, or maybe you just saying, hey, we decided to pay stuff on our credit card to free up some cash? I'm not for sure why you would do that, but that, to me, this is not normal. Yeah. Look at all these Nordcore gas bills. $1,500, $1,500, $1,500. This might be a scam, you guys. This might be a scam. Who is Nordcore? I guess that's just Illinois stuff. Where are they based out of? I'm not for sure. I don't know. But they're paying $1,500 a lot. That's crazy to me. That's interesting. And it's all on the 24th. Most of them are even $1,500. Then you have some $1,223. You have one for $1,469. Amazon is on here a lot. Go to com. Almost $7,000. Does this even make any sense? $6,999.99. Does these charges even look realistic? Like what is this about? So that was for, let me just go back. This was for I don't know. They didn't say the credit card holder for this one. It don't have the credit card holder for that one on that first statement. But Keith Freeman is on there. He spent $24,000 in 1 month. $24,000. 1,200 Bliss Beauty. $351 at Cooper's Hawk. Public Safety Direct. 2 charges, one for $3,600 and one for $5,300. Dick's Clothing, $82. I don't know why would you do that, but Dunkin' Donuts, Jamaican Jerk, Sam's Club, Party City, Chipotle. You know, he got little small charges on him. The biggest one is this the Public Safety Direct. I don't know what that is. And it's $8,000, and then another one is $5,000. Walmart, $3,100. Then he got his flights on there. United, he must have been drinking. 24, 19, 19, 24. All these charges are United Airlines. What are you doing here? That's from his travels. You got this Tony Sherman. He spent $2,300. I guess that's reasonable compared to everybody else. And Robert E. Hunt. He spent $40,000. Robert E. Hunt is off the chain. Now this is for March. In March they spent $67,000 in March. Keith, he spent $14,000 of that. Keith, he spent another $2,500. And then you spent like $94,000. You spent $94,000 in 1 month in April. I mean, this spending a lot of Amazon, UPS. Don't know what you're doing with that. This Robert E. Hunt. Somebody put in chat, do you know who Robert E. Hunt is? They sent a lot of stuff off of UPS.com. Every charge UPS.com, I don't know what they was mailing, but it had to be something. $943. I mean, what are you mailing? I'm not for sure. Extraspace.com, Nicor gas bill again, $1,500. A lot of Extra Space. What are we doing in Extra Space? We don't know. Jocelyn King, she spent $13,000 in 1 month. Keith Freeman, $3,000. They paid the late. Oh, well, they reversed it. They made her internet payment of $157,000. 1 month they spend $138,000. Robert E. Hunt, he's spending a lot of money. Keith Freeman, he spent $50,000 in the month of May. $50,000. He put people's Tiffany on his credit card, Joyce, Darlene, Maria, and Stanley Brown. He paid for that on his credit card. I mean, these charges are ridiculous. Some of this stuff don't even look right. Asphalt Kingdom. So they paid Asphalt Kingdom $3,900. Probably not at their approved contractor, but they paid them. Lodging. Wear, active wear. They spent $4,900 on active. I guess that was some t-shirts or something. We don't know. We don't know. They purchased $118,000 in May or in June. I mean, like I said, they are spending money like crazy. A lot of stuff is coming through Amazon, Sam's Club. To me, I don't know about a city. Is this stuff normal? Do you just spend money just like this? Is it normal for people just to go, oh, I got a credit card, let me charge it? Sam's Club in Calumet City, you spend $3,700. Then another $2,400. To me, it doesn't make any sense. You know, they got all their credit cards for the travel, but they said they didn't have credit cards for traveling. But you got this on here. Anyway, there you have it, folks. They off the chain with their spending. They are off the chain with their spending. Mr. Rob, thank you for your super chat. Keep up the great work. Thank you. You guys, thank you for tuning in. You guys, it looks like I've been going at it probably about 2.5 hours. That's what it looks like. Yeah, Tiffany, your girl is off the chain. And she wonders why people are having a problem with her. You know, she is doing stuff that doesn't even make any sense. And she act like everybody is offending her. Like, no, you going around offending everybody else because they don't kiss your ass. You think they in the wrong. It doesn't make any sense because you can't follow the rules that's necessary to operate the village that's already in place, and they put it in place on purpose so they won't have this same kind of thing going on. And you ran against, I guess, that other guy that was corrupt, and you're even more corrupt than the other guy. It doesn't make any sense. So yeah, there you have it, you guys. I'm gonna probably post some of these in my these credit card receipts in my post and put it up for you guys to view. And tomorrow I'm going live and we're going to talk about Chicago. There's a story in Chicago that I want to cover. And they got some other small things that's going on, but I want to get into immigration. So you guys stay tuned for that. I really appreciate every single last one of you guys. Thank you for tuning in. And we'll be at it tomorrow. I'm sending all my good to you and I'll talk to you tomorrow.